Welcome to the ultimate podcast experience with conversations about politics, religion, finances, and the meaning of life, and all the other subjects and stories that Nana told you not to bring to the kitchen table, and a whole lot more. Join our hosts, James the Red, You'll Be Back, and Sam the slippery smooth producer as they settle the ultimate question: have y'all heard about this?
Well, hi, honey. You getting ready for Christmas?
I think it damaged me in my teen years.
You're just too soft. Yule's a Christmas soft.
There's only 68 on here.
The word of the day, listeners, is fracas.
Welcome to the party!
Sam Wells requested Christmas news. Like, no, I didn't.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
So is that the top 5 or the bottom 5?
Haters gonna hate.
And we're rolling.
Oh, man. Rolling right into Christmas. I got something fun for y'all this morning.
Is that Justin Bieber?
Wait, tell me, is that Dominic the long-eared donkey?
Dominic the Donkey. A musical selection for Christmas that I had not even heard of until about 4 or 5 years ago. Have y'all heard of it?
I've never heard of that.
It's horrendous. It's a hard song to listen. I think the kids would like it. That'd probably be a good one for a little kindergarten play.
See, I got to watch, I've got young kids, 6 and under, and you got to watch what you introduce to them, man, because it's like, do I want to hear this for the rest of my life? Or for the rest of my life for the next year?
Well, let's go ahead and talk about the worst Christmas songs of all time. I mean, songs that
there
should
are
be
some
banished,
bad ones.
that should be banished.
Where should they go? You said this earlier.
We'll banish these to the Isle of Misfit Toys. If you guys have seen the Rankin Bass production of Rudolph,
that's right.
which, by the way, are just excellent movies.
Yeah.
The Rankin Bass Rudolph, the Frosty the Snowman, The Year Without a Santa Claus, all just really good Christmas treats.
By chance, do y'all use YouTube TV as your provider?
No.
Okay, so I do.
Weirdly enough, I pay for YouTube Premium, but I don't ever do TV.
What's the difference? I mean,
YouTube TV is almost just like having cable, except for it's through YouTube, and they design it for your local market and all that. And for us, I used to be kind of like one of these, I don't know, I grew up on cable, so I knew all the stations I should get, whether I watch them or not. A TV provider would offer, well, why don't you use Comcast or you use Dish Network? I'd be like, well, does it have C-SPAN? Does it, like this stuff you never watch, but you knew ought to be on TV. So anyway, my point of telling you this is the other night they actually showed ABC or CBS, one of the networks showed Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And when you went to click on it to watch it on YouTube TV, a message came up and said, this program is not approved for streaming on the internet, basically.
And what was it?
They just wouldn't play it.
Why?
I don't know. I guess they've got some sort of copyright thing that YouTube TV said they weren't going to pay. I mean, it's the craziest thing. It's like, I watch everything else on your network. You're going to put commercials on here. That's the other unfortunate thing is on the network stuff, the Rudolph was probably, a 15-minute cartoon. They'll turn it into an hour. Yeah,
that's one of the worst things, too. Well, we don't do TV like that at all, but we recently bought a new TV and it has all this stuff built into it. And so there is and it's a Vizio brand. And so there's an app inside it called Vizio TV or something like that. So it's like free TV. And it's like it has like a guide, where you go through and you pick channels. I mean, they're all goofy stuff, but anyway, so we were watching The Price is Right, like an old 70s version of Price is Right, because it was
Come on down.
Yeah. But every 15 minutes, literally, there was a Geico commercial. And then in the span of that, so there would be 3 commercials, and then it would go back to the Price is Right. But all 3 of those commercials were all, not Geico, it was Progressive Insurance. They were all 3 different Progressive Insurance. For an hour, we watched literally 9 Progressive Insurance commercials.
So did you save $300 a year on your auto insurance?
I was going to say, James is like, honey, let's get Progressive on the phone.
It is funny. My kids are not used to commercials at all. So when they see them now, they're just like, they just kind of have this blank look in there, like, why are we watching?
Why
What
is
is this?
Yes, kids are. I mean,
true.
we've talked about this probably on the podcast before, but we're in this on-demand society. Now kids say, hey, Dad, I want to hear blank. Whatever song,
Yeah.
dial it up. There it is.
I know. Whereas we would have to, and this may be a little before your time,
No, I mean-
we'd have to call KZ106 here in Chattanooga
Beg 'em.
yeah.
and say, hey, could you please play Kenny Loggins' Footloose?
And
And they would
then-
say, it's coming up at the top of the alley.
And you're like,
Call a request.
no, I used to call into our local Christian radio station, and one time they used the fact that I had called. I think this is when I lost my faith in institutions. Is I called in and requested a song, and they were like, and we had Sam Wells from Greenville request the Na Na song, and I was like, I didn't request the Na Na song, and I was like, it was like that's when
They totally punked you, didn't they?
I don't know.
What's the Na song?
I still don't know to this day. It was a
This is
Christian
the Jake
song. I
Allen
don't-
band. All right, so talk about the songs that you don't want to have your name associated with. All right, here are this is our attempt
Want to go to top
at
10?
the Christmas songs that should never ever be played again.
Can we do also a top 5 of our new favorites?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good.
By the way, I'm not like a bah humbugger when it comes to Christmas. I love Christmas music. But I'll throw out the first one, a song that literally makes me crazy because I hate it so much. It's Do They Know It's Christmas? The Band-Aid version.
Is that the Is that like the one that talks about like
Who sings
over in Africa? And
Yes,
stuff? Do they
it's
know
a whole
Christian?
bunch of people.
Oh,
Bono's in it. He goes-
it was, yes.
I
Yeah.
kind of like that.
And it
song.
was, do they know it's Christmas? It's like, you know
Yes,
what?
yes.
I don't need to hear this from a bunch of pretentious Hollywood rich people asking me.
Aren't these the same people that, like in the 80s when they can't, We Are the World?
We Are the World.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh well, screw that. But
Phil Collins, Paul McCartney,
Michael Jackson,
Michael
in there?
Jackson,
Stevie Wonder.
Bono.
Oh man, I'm having all these flashbacks to MTV.
So
We Are
there
the
is
World.
a-
Remember, We Are the World is what started that whole kind of thing. We are.
Oh,
the
yeah,
world.
for sure.
So the reason
Terrible.
I have a positive association with that song is it's in the movie Daddy's Home 2, which is a comedic masterpiece.
Wow,
I don't think I've seen the first one.
man, I'm going to tell. Yeah, I'm with you.
It's
Like,
Is that where we've been?
Those are some great
Furthermore,
movies.
I've never even heard of them. So
It's got
The
what
Rock.
is it, Mark Wahlberg, and it's Mark Wahlberg and not Steve Carell, Will Ferrell mashup. It's
I do like Mark Wahlberg.
Dude. And it's good. It actually like kind of highlights the importance of like fathers and stuff. So it's like it's crazy, but it's hilarious. Yeah.
well, I'm going to go
All right,
next.
That's our first one.
I'm going to go next, and man, I hate to take this one off the list so fast because you guys are, this is just such
see if it's
low hanging fruit. But Mariah Carey, "All I Want for Christmas Is You,"
Definitely has to be on the list. Definitely.
Yeah.
horrible.
Gross.
I mean, maybe the first 300 times I heard it, it was all right, but the last 3,300 times I've heard it,
So
it's
musically-
cringy.
Weirdly enough, I think those are kind of similar. So it's this step down, like all I want for Christmas. Or how's it go?
Yeah, that's exactly how I
And
got
then
I-
you
I
like,
can't sing that
do
high.
they know it's like they both have.
Oh,
that-
yeah, good.
That's weird.
All right, so
All
I
right,
think
you
there's
have
a
a bad
pattern
one.
there. Oh,
So
yes.
oddly enough, my oldest daughter Autumn told my youngest daughter Charlotte that I used to love that song, and I think she's trying to stir up some family disunity there. I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't remember that I ever loved that song, but it definitely should be on my band list. All right, this is a no-brainer. You guys are gonna crush this one like a softball, hanging right over the plate. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Oh,
Gone.
There's-
forever. Gone.
there's
Yeah.
kind of a charm to it, though. It's so out there, you know.
When we're hurling it off to the Isle of Misfit songs.
It's kind of a charm. I might listen to it one more
Well,
time.
Yeah,
Smile.
before I
that's that is a like you're in the car with the kids looking at Christmas lights, and you can listen to it halfway through, and that's it. You're
Oh.
good for a season.
I'm thinking that I want an alien for Christmas. That one's better.
By the way, what planet is on this morning?
you know that
I'm
want an
assuming this Christian
alien
radio
for
station is no
Christmas.
longer.
All of a sudden, he's like pro UNICEF. He's like all aboard with the with the
UNICEF.
Yeah, he's like
right.
all these celebrities singing all these songs. He loves it now, and then he's like, I want an alien for Christmas. What is that?
A little green cow. I don't know.
All right, well,
So mine, hands down, is Last Christmas I Gave You My Heart.
by
That
Wham.
is the worst song.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
Maybe
one too.
ever, just in general, but definitely worst Christmas song.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's like, way to bring up your relationship troubles in one of the happiest times of the year, you know?
And have you seen the cover of that single?
No, I haven't. Let me.
Well, you do know about the band Wham.
Is it safe for the podcast?
So whenever I told my kids, I'm like, look, let me explain to you what this song means.
You know what? And now that I'm 47 years old, now I think I know what the word wham means.
All right, moving on. Right, that's exactly right. So imagine that song being sung from the heart.
It just hit me. It just hit me.
Wham.
Wow.
Are we going to get 10? I don't know if this is a real list.
I think we already have like 4 or 5, don't we?
That was.
Let's see. Now, let me talk about a few that I just love.
Oh no! Well, let's get
there.
What we hate first.
We'll get there. How about that one that's
Sometimes I've got to hear them to
You're
remember
just
I hate
too
them.
soft. Yule's a Christmas softie.
What's that person? This may just be like an entire singing group, but what's that person that's got that really awful sounding voice and is like,
is it a woman?
Yeah, it's that
Okay,
lady.
it's
that's the general tone of her voice.
Is it I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus? Is it that one?
Yeah,
That's a
one.
bad version. It really is. I
is.
think that is
I mean,
that.
it's a bad song.
I don't know who
but-
it is. Okay, man, I kind of like that song.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's
is a good
cute.
song.
It's kinda
it is a good
cute.
song, but there's a version. I know what Sam's
Because
talking
the
about.
idea is that
The Michael
it's
Jackson,
his
the Jackson
dad,
5
right?
version. It's his
That-
dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's not like some dude broke in the house and is like
Dude, that's
kissing
not-
his mom.
That's always the
While his dad's asleep.
God.
His
All
dad
right.
just worked a double and he's asleep.
All right, you're saying that you like.
I thought the family unit was falling
You're saying
apart.
that you like the Jackson 5 version.
Yeah.
What he's
Jackson
saying.
5,
yeah.
All right, here's the one. Let's see. Is this the right one?
less than
Oh
20
my
seconds.
goodness.
though,
We,
get
we
copyright
just we just
struck.
don't need an intro.
Ooh, yes. Solid.
No, that one's good.
Oh,
That's
this is
that's the Ronettes.
Yeah, the Ronettes. Yeah, you can't.
Wait,
there-
that's that?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
telling you
good.
guys.
That was
so
a good-
there's somebody that
There is
sings
somebody
this
that
like
sings it.
It may have been like Brenda Lee or something. It is
Oh,
horrible.
Brenda Lee, are you kidding me?
It literally
It
sounds
wasn't
like...
I was
Brenda Lee,
holding-
though. It's this nasally, horrible. I know exactly the one.
No,
you're
it's
talking about. We heard it
literally-
the other night.
5-year-old smokes 2 packs a day for his whole life.
Yeah.
All right, here's an easy one, guys. This is another no-brainer. The Eagles, Please Come Home for Christmas.
Horrible.
That
The
makes me
Eagles
want to put a
had
pair
no
of scissors in my
business.
ear.
The Eagles had no business.
I agree.
In fact,
Coming home for Christmas.
talking about who should and who should not get into Christmas music, I was listening this morning on the way in to some like Frank Sinatra,
Mhm,
those
mhm.
guys.
Yeah.
I don't listen to anything.
It was the
else
golden
they
age
do.
of Christmas music, bar none.
So think of your favorite band. Just like listeners, you can do this at home. Just think of your like absolute favorite band and think of like the joy when you like look them up on Apple Music or go to Barnes and Noble or whatever, however you get your music. I don't know if anybody does that anymore.
Well, if we're talking about my favorite band, I've got to go get a tape
Okay,
cassette.
fair enough. You go, but like, think of your favorite band that's still producing music, and they come out with a new album or whatever, and you get excited. But have you ever looked up and it's like, oh, they came out with a Christmas album? Does that ever kind of?
No,
Do you ever
I
lose a
don't know.
little bit of respect?
I don't
for
know
your
because
favorite band?
I mean, I know
for
we'll get
that?
into this when we talk about songs we love, but have you ever heard of the Bare Naked Ladies
Oh, yeah.
version of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen?
Mhm.
Unbelievable. I mean,
Well,
start to finish, like
I might check it out.
unbelievable.
I just want to harken back to what Sam was saying. I was going down a different path when you were talking about subsequent albums because my favorite band growing up was Guns N' Roses,
Ah.
and I'm pretty sure that they never came out with a Christmas album. And but there
Exactly.
was
Welcome to the party.
But you talk about Gary McCord, famous golfer, has a quote that I love. He says, "My golf career got off to a slow start and just kind of tapered off after that." and to me, I mean, haters are gonna hate, I'll tell you. But after Guns N' Roses came out with Appetite for Destruction, it was all downhill after that. like I was rooting for, and I'm not saying there wasn't some good music, but as an album, as a body of work, I'm just like, I think it damaged me in my teen years.
Yeah.
Like I just kept rooting for another good album, and I'd have to listen to and then they came out with Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, and it's like, yeah, there's 2 good songs.
Yeah.
And one of them's 19 minutes long, so we can't count that.
Yeah, I mean,
Was that November
what
Rain?
I'm saying is essentially,
That's a good song.
when
though.
a band comes out with a Christmas album, that's the signal of the downfall of that band. Like
when Maroon 5 comes out with.
exactly.
All right,
Yeah.
this is my next song that I pray that we banish to the Isle of Misfit Christmas songs. It is John Lennon's version of Happy Christmas, War is Over.
Yeah.
That makes me want to just like stop the car and get out and just take off running.
Yeah.
What is that?
It starts out, so this is Christmas. And what have you done? It's so preachy.
What
and just
war? Was that like Vietnam, or is he even addressing a specific war?
I guess it probably was. I mean, he died in 1980, so
it probably was Vietnam.
Probably was Vietnam.
And
could have been Korea.
Double awful, because that was like not a great way to end that either.
Well, it's
did Maroon 5 actually come out with a Christmas song?
They came out with that song.
Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
It's terrible.
At least it wasn't like Silent Night or something like that.
All right. I don't know how many we're up to. Is
probably 5 or 6?
That may be about all that I'm
you know what?
I think of another one?
Really concerned about.
Man. And now I've pulled up some of my favorites. And you know what? Let me just tell you. Does this one right here not just take you back to your childhood?
Oh, yes. Already.
Oh, absolutely.
Charlie Brown.
You can listen to Vince Guaraldi all year long.
Yeah. I mean,
tickling those
beautiful.
Ivories. And
it's just beautiful.
That's so beautiful, yeah.
Can I just read y'all my playlist? Instead of me just lobbying for every single Christmas song.
But why don't you just pick the ones you like the most? We're moved into what
there's only 68 on here.
These are the songs that we love the most.
Here,
right?
we'll just mute James and I's mic. And
I won't name all of them. But I'm gonna give you a little sample.
I'm still not done with the songs that need to be banned.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
that's true.
I may give you some right here.
All
right. If you've not heard of some of these, I'm going to try to skip over the ones that I think are mainstream and that you already know. And this one is mainstream enough that I'm going to mention it. But Merry Christmas
one just
from the
popped
Family.
in my mind. A terrible one. Go ahead.
Robert Arkin, Merry Christmas from the Family.
No, I haven't heard that.
You've not heard that?
No.
We're not going to play it on the
either.
podcast.
Yeah.
All right, that you got to listen to that. By the way, y'all can probably find my Christmas by Eule list on Spotify. I am
nice.
Yeah, Christmas by
Great
EULE,
plug.
and I didn't put YULE, and we'll get into that in a minute.
You should have.
Tuscumbia, Alabama,
You
just
missed
had
an
a big
opportunity.
fracas over the Yule Festival.
The word of the day, listeners,
I'll tell
is
you all
fracas.
about it. All right, so here are the ones that I would just call out for you. If you're not listening to these, put them on your Christmas list for a sad and depressing Christmas. John Prine's "Everything Is Cool."
That
Beautiful
sounds
song.
terrible.
Willie Nelson's "Pretty Paper."
Oh, that's one of the best songs ever written.
Hayes Carl, "Grateful for Christmas." The Hit Crew, "Daddy's Drinking Up Our Christmas." Let's see. Listen, this one's mainstream, but oh so good. Dolly Parton, "Hard Candy Christmas."
Oh, excellent. Absolutely excellent.
Let's see. And
what
then
an amazing woman Dolly is.
anything Elvis, quite frankly, is perfect. And I'm gonna do one more, even though I could. No, I'm gonna do two more. The band's "Christmas Must Be Tonight." Beautiful song.
Man, that song is outstanding.
And the last one is Roger Miller's "Old Toy Trains."
I haven't heard that.
Oh,
My sister sent me the band's that
Christmas
song.
Must Be Tonight.
Christmas Must Be Tonight. And the bass player is the one that sang it. What was his name? I'm drawing a blank. But very, very good.
Yeah.
And in fact, that kind of lit a just a fire under me to go back and listen to all the band's songs, and unbelievable.
Levon Helm is just
Oh,
a master,
my goodness.
man. I just even after the band was no more, his later stuff, man. I just like Poor Old Dirt Farmer and love that stuff. So Chad Gamble, shout out to him. He's my drummer friend that I've mentioned on the podcast. I may have even mentioned the story one time, but we were driving home in Chad's truck from Tuscaloosa to Tuscumbia from, weekend of, we were in college in Tuscaloosa, and he sticks the band in, and, in his cassette player. Kids, y'all know what that is? And sticks the tape in, and I'm sitting here like just totally digging every song. I'm like, man, this is good. Man, this is a good song too, Chad. Who is this? He goes, the band. I said, yeah, like I said. Who is it? He said, the band. Man. I know, man. And then it's a band. I know what is their name? And and like it literally was one of those 2 to 3 things before I got that the name of the band is the band.
Like a who's on first situation.
Yeah, it kind of was. But so you look back. There's a I think it's a Kathy Mattea song called "The Song Remembers When." Y'all know that song?
No.
Old country song. Oh, it's a beautiful song.
I've never heard it.
But it just strikes true. Like, how many songs or musical experiences does it literally transport you to a moment in time? You remember exactly where you were, who you were with, what you were doing.
Oh, for sure.
Over.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of songs that I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just takes, like, Guns N' Roses, like, I can see myself, 12 years old, walking down a hot summer street in Tuscumbia, like,
Carly Rae Jepsen's "Call Me Maybe" takes me back to my youth internship back in 2012.
Oh my goodness!
All right, so here's another absolute banishment song. Do you guys remember the song about the Christmas shoes?
Oh, dude.
Sir, I wanna buy these shoes. So
they're like this real sad.
Yes, it's like, well, again, you almost hate to make fun of the song because like it's a little boy whose mom is
new song,
really
I think,
sick, and
I think it was new song because
Bob Carlyle, I thought was maybe who wrote it, but maybe they sang it.
Okay, because the reason I have a connection to somebody that was in that song, which is kind of cool. So I went to Covenant College, and the kid at the end of that song that goes, when Mama meets Jesus tonight. You know that kid?
Was that you?
Yeah. No, it wasn't me.
Oh.
But I went to college with that guy.
Really?
Yeah. He's the son of one of the members of New Song. So they may have borrowed his son. It may not have been New Song.
Can we all just agree that song's gone?
Well, it was not on my playlist. So I'll agree with you on that one.
Because it was played like every hour on Christian radio, and I know that because I would call in and beg them not to play it.
Hey, at the top of the hour, could you please not play that song?
Sam Wells requested Christmas shoes.
How about this? Apparently in 1973, which was 1 year before my time, there was a John Denver song called "Daddy, Please Don't Get Drunk This Christmas."
Yes, that may be on my playlist.
Is that the top 5 or the bottom 5?
So I'm going way back, and this was another one from my childhood. And man, talking about 12 years old, that's how old I was when this came out. There was a great album put out called "A Very Special Christmas." Have y'all ever heard of this?
Mm-mm.
And it's got all these contemporary people doing Christmas music, and "Christmas in Hollis" by Run DMC.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That's it. I mean, when that came out, like it was the first thing that wasn't like it was the first new Christmas song I think I'd ever heard. Like, it's Santa Claus coming to town, Winter Wonderland. Do you hear what I hear? And then you get down, it's like Christmas in Hollis. I'm like,
I don't think I would not put that on the Isle of Misfit songs. But I probably wouldn't listen to it more than a couple times. I mean, it's okay.
With an ill reindeer.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nostalgic for sure. But I think I was, just think about this. Why is there such a marked difference between the Christmas music that was written in the 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe into the 70s? And then it's like it kind of stopped, and there was a shift in the focus. It wasn't like we're singing songs about family. We're singing songs about Christmas time being together. We're singing songs about Christ. Everything kind of shifted to this broken dysfunction. Like, all I want for Christmas is you back, or last Christmas you shattered my heart. Like, everything kind of shifted away from that. Like, what was the line of demarcation there?
I don't know, because it also shifted away from like just talking about beautiful things too.
That's
just
right,
like
it did. And it didn't even sound beautiful.
Well, at one time, Mariah Carey was beautiful. Did y'all see her at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
No, I missed.
So she did her song, the one we just mentioned.
This might have been the first year I didn't watch the Macy's because I was actually participating in the run downtown, which I think I might do again. That was fun. The 5K,
the turkey trot thing.
It was Grateful Gobbler. I don't know if is it the
same? I mean, it's the same concept as
so
run on Thanksgiving.
You guys are talking about bands that you loved. Did you ever listen to the Ramones at any time?
I've listened to the Ramones.
I don't think I have.
Okay, well, I had a period of a couple years when I was about in 8th grade that I loved the Ramones. This is their version of their Christmas song. Merry Christmas, I don't want to fight tonight. It's just like, it's all dysfunction.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible song. But
that's awesome.
Well, I just, if I just totally had to only listen, and by the way, I've got a playlist of only Elvis Presley and Ray Charles Christmas songs, and that's all
man.
I mean the one from, how am I not remembering the name of it? But they played on the first. Is it the Christmas Vacation movie?
I don't know.
Oh, hold on.
Is Ray Charles the guy that sounds like? No.
Hold on.
Who's the guy
I never thought I would hear those words come out of anyone's mouths.
What?
Is Ray Charles the guy
that sounds like ...
Ray Charles?
No, he's not the guy that sounds like he's got like a full-size apple in his mouth or in his throat.
No, that's Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong. I love that guy.
I would like to. I would like to apologize to our listeners for
last Christmas,
for our young Sam not having an immediate
what if he did
recognition of who Ray Charles is.
The very next day.
This reminds me of when I was a kid. There was a girl down the street that I mentioned Elvis Presley to, and she didn't know who that was, and I was very
That's just
upset.
Ridiculous because he's still alive, and I've seen him. I'm just joking.
Conspiracy.
Okay, so the song, and
I actually believe Elvis
and
Presley
again,
is still
it is just killing me that
he probably isn't now. I mean, well, he could be, I guess.
What,
but
what was
be
the
like,
idea? Like, I just don't get the motive. I'm a very big motive guy. Like, what would be the motive to fake Elvis's death?
I mean, it would not seem that
drugs?
strange to me for someone like Elvis to want to just like go and live a different life. I mean, I don't know, but
yeah, I wonder how many people do that.
This one.
Never heard this. Ray Charles?
Hold on. I know you've seen the movie.
Christmas is the time of year.
You don't know this song?
Mm-mm.
For being with the one.
Oh, okay. In Christmas Vacation, this is the one where he's in the attic watching all the old.
Yes,
yeah.
And he's all nostalgic.
It's
It's a
nice.
beautiful song.
It is a beautiful song.
Beautiful.
That is good.
Sing a
Somebody
song.
mentioned Brenda Lee in a negative context earlier.
I-
and I'm going to
you know,
fight.
no,
if
I
that,
like
if that
that.
was
I'm
a
sorry.
true
That
statement.
is. So.
I did a bad name recognition. It's not Brenda Lee.
Okay.
But
Because
if
that really hurt. That hurt my feelings.
I'll have to go back. You know what? We really ought to do a little bit more research for our podcast. We're really just like, it's us and an iPhone, and we're
like, yeah, I think I remember that. So
I'm trying to remember
wait.
the girl's name, though. It's just horrible. In fact, it may even be on my playlist, but I need to take it off.
How about this song? Talk about songs that just mean Christmas. Listen to it. Karen Carpenter. What a voice. The Carpenters, Christmas.
I don't know that I know that song.
You got to go listen to this. What an angel. What an angelic voice, too.
Oh, speaking of an angelic voice, what about Bocelli?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That is.
He's isn't he one of the four tenors?
Wait, this is the guy that Ave Maria that does that song?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, any of them.
Yeah. I think we went to a political rally and that song was playing over the loudspeaker. So probably give you an indication.
Hey,
of what
so Ave
political
Maria,
persuasion that
there's a little bit of controversy around that song, right? I mean,
because of
like,
Virgin Mary?
yes, I mean it's a praise of Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
and I've just always thought it was a beautiful song.
yeah.
Huh.
Well,
still
you gotta,
is.
I mean, there's two spectrums there. You can say Mary shouldn't be praised at all. You can say that, but I mean, Mary was chosen by God to carry the Son of God on earth in her womb. So there should be some not praise in the form that in like not deification of Mary, but She was blessed among all women.
Let me tell you why I don't get too hung up on people telling me not to like Ave Marias. We literally have a hymn in our hymn book that I've called out before, and I've been told, don't call that out again.
What hymn is that?
Yeah, what hymn is that? Let's take it out of the. If that's that bad, let's take it out of the hymn.
I think it's called Gethsemane.
Ooh.
Gethsemane. Grab that hymnal back there and see what it is.
This is the older version. Do you want me to go upstairs?
No.
No.
Just piqued my curiosity, but it wasn't in this church.
No, it wasn't in the church. It was just kind of like after we sang it, they're like, like the words just aren't right.
Huh. Is it like
I'll
that
show
song
it to you. I'll show it.
Is it like the song Days of Elijah where it talks about David rebuilding the temple of praise?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that song.
Nobody knows this praise and worship.
I've never been to this Hillsong you're talking about.
That's true. This was pre-Hillsong, but it was contemporary worship music. And there's literally a song, and it calls "These Are the Days of Elijah." Or no, it goes, "These are the days of David, rebuilding the temple of praise." Which David, if you know your Bible, did not rebuild the temple of praise. It was his son that did.
Well, listen, never let facts get in the way of a good tune. What else are we going to talk about today?
Well, I wanted to hear about this controversy with the Eule down in Tuscumbia, Alabama.
Ooh.
Look,
The Yule log.
I know I probably have some Tuscumbia listeners, and
We do.
I've had to. I know, and I had to stay silent on this on social media. But apparently, I got really excited because, as you know, my name is Eule, and I was seeing that there was about to be this big Yule festival in Tuscumbia, Alabama. And downtown does a great thing at Christmas called the Dickens Christmas, on Charles Dickens theme, and people dress up, and it's a cool thing.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
It's
happening this weekend, and I can't be there because I'll be in Las Vegas, Nevada. But
Lost wages.
But basically, it's popping up on social media that there's going to be a Yule festival, and I wanted to, like being me, I kind of wanted to pop in there and be like, finally, you're celebrating one of your own. Well, come to find out, while it was a celebration, it was coming with great consternation to the churchgoers, because it was is it Krampus? Father Krampus?
Oh, no way. Like the German evil Santa guy?
It's kind of the evil Santa that I think eats all the bad kids at Christmas or something.
Did you watch The Office? Because I think he talks about, the guy from The Office,
I don't remember
Dwight.
this.
I think he talks about Krampus.
For whatever it is, it's basically a pagan festival, right? And so, you would have thought that they said that Ozzy Osbourne is going to get on Main Street and bite the head off a bat again. Like, you would have thought.
that happen?
Like it was the city council people were coming like, why did you approve this? Like they were mad at the mayor.
Well, let's pause, because I'm not sure that a lot of our listeners know what this is. So I just Wikipedia'd this. So listen, Krampus is a horned anthropomorphic figure in the central and eastern alpine folklore of Europe, who, during the Advent season, scares children who have misbehaved. Assisting St. Nicholas, or Santa Claus, the pair visit children on the night of the 5th of December, which is coming up.
I think it just happened, or it's today.
It's today. Is that today?
No, it's yesterday.
Last night.
Good.
With St. Nicholas rewarding the well-behaved children with modest gifts such as oranges and dried fruit, walnuts, and chocolate, while the badly behaved children receive punishment from Krampus with birch rods. What the?
So
going on
someone
in Alabama.
So someone proposed this festival, and I don't. It's kind of like having the Renaissance Festival. It's kind of like having a trunk or treat. It's like
it is tough. Where's
Halloween. It's just like I'm serious. Like the backlash to this proposed thing was big. And so I never even got to say, "Oh, it's all about me," right? It's like, I better not say that. I'll never be mayor of that town.
Go look up some images of this Krampus. He looks
bad.
He looks like
bad,
a demon devil running through the streets of Tuscumbia, Alabama, with a birch rod.
It is, but it's crazy that I don't know. I don't live there. I don't have a horse in the race, but I just thought it was.
My gosh!
Literally, people were at the city
Sam's
council meeting,
out.
like mad, like telling the mayor, Why
what
did
happened?
you?
Are they going to do it?
No, they did it.
All right.
No kids were slaughtered on the street. There was not a bloodletting.
It's coming up this weekend, right?
It's done. They did it this past weekend.
So you're in your bed. You're a little kid. You can't wait for St. Nicholas to bring you
what's the
presents,
difference?
And then this comes at you.
Well, listen.
Look at that.
Anyone who's had a toddler has used
Father Krampus.
Anyone who's had a toddler, 4-year-old, has probably gone to great lengths to let them know if you don't act right now, something bad's going to happen.
Oh my gosh!
But I've never made up a mythological creature named Krampus.
Have you ever told them they're going to get coal and switches?
I'm like, Ella June, if you don't get in bed, this is coming after you.
This is a test of the emergency Santa spoiler alert system.
If you're listening right now and your children are in the car and can hear
Right,
this,
yeah.
There we go.
and they're of believing age, you may want to turn this off right now because we're about to discuss some very, very heavy topics. Okay,
I'll
you've
kick it
been
off.
warned.
I'll kick it off.
You've got 3, 2, 1. All right.
So a friend of mine has a son now who's grown. He's about Clay's age, and he said that they were studying in history. They were like, they're a homeschool family, so everything's a unit lesson. Everything's a unit study.
Love it.
And so
That reminds me of Raising Arizona. We got to keep this family unit together, Hi.
I can't recommend that movie, but I don't think I've ever laughed as much in a movie as I laughed.
Great
at that.
movie.
I literally in the floor laughing. So anyway, so my friend, they do this whole study on Christmas, and they teach their son that there was a man who was named Nicholas. So they kind of give this whole thing, but he's dead now. There's no Santa. There's no,
gosh.
and so. So later on, they were at a restaurant and they were getting their food, and this waitress comes over and she goes, "Well, hi, honey. You getting ready for Christmas? You looking forward to Santa coming?" And this little boy was like 5 years old, and he just looked at her dead in the face and said, "Santa's dead."
Well, we had a theory before
gosh.
we had kids of how we were going to handle it, and we were pretty much of the belief that we're not going to play along with that.
Yeah.
And then they're kids, and you realize this is just a brief moment in time.
Yeah.
And they're so mesmerized and all this stuff. Now I'm not one to go and put my 7-year-old on a man's lap. Okay,
Oh, thank goodness!
Praise the Lord. There's still some Eules out there.
But we did a few Santa pictures when they were real little, and that's cool, and you've got that memory. But we've had to broach this subject with both kids, obviously, and it's I try to be honest with them in a way of saying, look, the spirit of Christmas is very real. And the spirit of giving and loving and enjoying all this, it's all very real. Now, is there a man in a red suit that will come down our chimney tonight? I mean, whatever you think, buddy. And then last year, our then 6-year-old, now 7-year-old, had pretty much given up on the whole idea. This year, I don't know if he's thinking, man, I've got to game this system or what, but he is all in. He is all in. Like, he's not even said a word that would even lead you to any disbelief. And I think he's just smart enough
He's
to
probably
play
playing along. Yeah.
Absolutely he is.
Yeah, I think we were about like you. We didn't go out of our way to be like, kids, it's absolutely not true. There's no Santa. But if they ask us, I was like, I'm not going to lie to my children. So I'm like, well, what?
I think that's a good thing.
I love this story. My wife tells a lot that when she was a kid, she had 2 older brothers, and her middle brother had told her, there's no Santa Claus. And so she goes to her mom, who was like either cooking or washing dishes, and she goes, "Mom, he said there's no such thing as Santa." And said that her mom just looked at her and shook her head no. Like, there's not. Just ended it, nipped it in the bud right then.
She's like, look, I've got dishes. Your dad's going to be home at 5. Just get out of my kitchen.
The other funny thing that her mom used to do, and when I've employed this, Jill gets so mad at me, is that you know how kids will nag you to do something.
Mm-hmm.
When we leave, can we have ice cream? When we leave, can we stop and have ice cream?
Every
and they
5
ask,
minutes.
and you're like, no, and you have to tell them 40 or 50 times
Yes, very
before
much.
you resort to violence. No, thank you.
What is that?
So her mom just the second time they would ask, like the first time it's like, no, we're not going to do that, and the second time they'd be like, well, please, can we? She'd be like, oh, sure, okay. And then like 2 hours later, when it was time to do it, she wouldn't do it. And the kid's like, you lied. She's like, no, I just shut you up. Like, you're going to keep nagging me. And, like, I love that strategy.
Whoa, that's
cold-hearted.
3D chess or 4D chess right there. I like that a lot.
All right, I've got one other thing that's really, really bothering me.
All right.
Uh-oh.
In 2009, the University of Alabama became dominant on the scene once again in their illustrious history by beating the University of Texas for the national championship.
What, this is football?
Yeah, in football. Okay. Ping pong.
It's a Forrest Gump out there.
And,
Wait, didn't he go to the University of Alabama?
And then Alabama,
I'll look it up.
Alabama, came back. I mean, national championship after national championship.
Didn't they cheat, though? Wasn't there a lot of cheating going on?
No, they just scored more points than anybody else.
I thought it was like cheating in recruitment or something.
No, that's Auburn.
Oh,
Auburn's the cheaters.
Gotcha.
Alabama has reigned supreme since the college football playoff era. So, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not an Alabama historian, I'm a big fan. But for those of you that really bleed crimson, that know every player's middle name and stuff, like, you're talking to the wrong guy. Like, I don't keep up with it that closely. But suffice it to say, I think Alabama has made the 4-team playoff every single year since its inception until this year. And they didn't deserve it. They did not play well enough to deserve.
They're not doing so well this year?
Well, they lost 2 games. They lost to LSU and to Tennessee. They lost to Tennessee when Tennessee was ranked number 1 in the country. And then when we lost to LSU, LSU was ranked, I can't remember how it was. But both of them on the last play of the game, Alabama lost both of these games in a very, very close and tight match. So here we are. It's playoff season. Alabama's ranked, I think they had us ranked like number 7, and then somebody lost. We moved it up to number 6, and then they come out with a 14 playoff. Well, 2 of the teams in the top 4, USC got annihilated, and then TCU got beat.
Sounds like a conspiracy.
And then they put them. Then they put TCU in the top 4. Now, and here's my point of this: is it's supposed to be the best 4 teams in the country should play for it,
right?
And I think, while Alabama's not as good as they have been in years past, are probably better than, or at least competitive with some of those other teams. But I think of it in 2 ways. One, you're supposed to peak at the end, right? Like, that's what the basketball tournament is, the Cinderella stories is like, if you're playing better than anybody else at this time, you win the tournament. And so in a year or so, they're going to actually go to a 12-team tournament. And so any of those teams that would have lost in those division championship series would have been out. So TCU,
they're going to a 12-team tournament next year.
Yeah,
really?
A 12-team playoff. It's either next year or 2 seasons.
So kind of like
later.
the basketball, like March Madness, only
more or less.
with
They're going to have to make some of these conference championships part of the playoff. But the point is, in that scenario, you can't lose this game and then go play in the 4-team playoff for the national championship, in my opinion. So TCU, I hope you get spanked. I don't even know what a horned frog is, but I hope they get annihilated.
And hey,
and I'm behind Georgia. I mean, go Georgia Bulldogs. SEC, bring it home, and then next year we'll teach those Bulldogs to behave. So I got that off my chest.
Well,
Thank y'all for listening.
Eule. I know that means a lot to you, and I'm sorry that Alabama didn't make it into the bowl
College
championship series.
football.
Is that what it's called, the bowl championship series?
No, that's the BCS. That's the old one. We've won that one too. No, the college football playoff.
Yeah, we won that one already.
Everything Alabama keeps winning, they'll just change it to try to keep us from winning, and they just keep winning.
Conspiracy. All right, we ready to wrap it up today, guys?
Sure.
We'll leave you with Merle Haggard.
Can I sing along?
You certainly can. This is a good Christmas song.
If we make it through December,
Woo! Everything's gonna be alright. I know. It's the coldest time of winter. Sing along, Sam.
and I shiver
When I see the falling snow. Merle Haggard. Hey, Merry Christmas if we don't record again. I think we will. We will between now and then. We'll record before Christmas. Next week we'll talk about New Year's songs maybe,
or maybe the best Christmas movies of all time.
Oh, hey, me and Noah and Ben went and watched a great one. Maybe a modern
Polar
classic.
Express.
No, Violent Night.
Oh, okay.
We went that same night and saw I Heard the Bells. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, outstanding.
All right, let's save it.
My top 5 movies.
Let's save it for next week. Christmas movies coming up.
All right,
goodbye.
The Have Y'all Heard About This podcast is produced by Play It By Ear Audio. Leave us a review, like us, rate us, or subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use. If you wish to contact us or you have a suggestion for the show, email us at hyhatpodcast@gmail.com.